What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Level Up Classics, where we maintain, modify, and restore some of our favorite classic cars. Today, we're going to be installing the coveted 911 Raven S LED headlights on our Porsche 964. Here we have our Raven S LED headlight. In the box, it comes with a wiring harness, wiring diagram, a tool, and a new headlight ring screw. For the install, we're going to need a long screwdriver, needle nose pliers, clippers, channel locking pliers, and our H5 to H4 adapters. In my previous video, I did an H5 to H4 conversion, and it's a lot cleaner and less wires. So check that out if you want to go that route. So let's start by trimming down the rubber grommet to the headlight harness. I use some clippers to cut it away. It's like a mushroom, and you're just cutting off the stem. And be sure not to cut the wires in the process. So we're doing this because there's a slight clearance issue from the new headlights. The ballast on the bottom of the headlight hits the wiring harness and the grommet. You can use extreme force to push it on, but it will not sit flush. Also, it's a tight fit inside the housing, so moving the ballast is not really an option. And completely removing the rubber will leave a bigger hole than what's already there. Trimming down the rubber is your best bet, and it's the quickest option. It'll end up looking like this. Once that's done, let's move to the blinkers. Using a screwdriver, open up the first part of the blinker, and by removing this screw, it's going to expose another screw for you to pull the blinker out. To pull out the blinker, we need to remove the bumperette. We're going to need to remove the bumperette cover, and then using an 8mm ratchet, remove the two nuts that hold in the bumperette, and then you can pull forward the blinker. Take a second to clean off the wires so we can tap them and keep the dirt out of our connection. Here we have our wires. Brown is the ground, red is the running light, and green is for the signal. And this is for the passenger side. The driver side is different with a gray and black for the running light and a white and black for the signal. The diagram is a bit confusing, but ignore everything and just look at what I highlighted. It would be much easier to visualize this if it was just two headlight, if it shows the driver and the passenger headlight showing the correct wires to each side. I've confirmed this with my two US 964s, but moving on. Next, we need to insert our 911 wiring harness. We need to string the green and the white wires through the bottom headlight hole. Using the side hole for access, run the wires through to the front hole for the blinker. Once again, on the passenger side, the green wire goes with the green and black, and the white goes with the red and black, and the driver's side is different. For these clips, all you do is put the tap around the wire, and using a needle nose pliers, press it closed. The tap will snap together just like this. Do the next wire and give it a little space and snap it closed. Now, string the wires back into the bumper and push the blinker back in. install the bumperette back on. Give it a cleaning too, because dirt gets trapped behind the cover. And then screw the blinker back in. Now, let's put the H5 to H4 adapters on. It plugs right in. And then we're going to put the new headlight rubber seal on. Typically these just age with time and they're easy to replace, so that's why we're doing that while we're here. A quick tip from the retrofit source they gave me was that I can use the 356 headlight seals, and they're easier to work with and a bit thinner. Now we need to prepare the screw hole for the new headlight. Over time these flex and align with the original headlights. So what we're gonna do is slightly and gently, we're gonna massage it back to align to fit these new headlights. Using a new screw, I just made sure that the threads were clean and I screwed it in and that it's screwed in smoothly. We also want to make sure that the screwdriver is parallel to the car. This is to make sure we can access the screw once the headlight's on. Using channel lock pliers and microfiber cloth, gently massage the bracket so that the headlight ring and the screw align perfectly. If the screw's not set right and it's horizontal to the ground, there's a possibility that the screw's edge might damage the ring when you screw it in. That's why we need to make sure that we align the screw and we make it parallel to the car. If not, it's not going to sit correctly. So this whole process here is to prepare the headlight to go in smoothly. And now we can install the headlight. Installing the new headlight, we want to take the wiring harness and wrap it around the left side. We want to tuck the wiring into the inner edge. As we set the headlight in, we want to hook the headlight ring on the top lip, and when it's set, we want to give it a big push down and towards the car. Make sure the hole in the ring and the screw hole is aligned, and then we're going to screw in the screw. I recommend using the OEM screw to match the ring, and also because it has a nice soft edge. Unfortunately, the new screw provided, it has a really sharp edge, and if you don't screw it in perfectly, it's going to scratch the headlight ring. Now we finish the passenger side, and let's go through the driver's side. There's a few differences, but this would be helpful just to go through the process again, and I have a few good angles in here that will help you see some of the process better. Here, we're trimming down the rubber grommet again. You can see how I cut in and then around to make it flush. Now for the blinkers, they're different than the passenger side. I also highlighted this in the diagram. The green wire goes with the white and black wire, and the white wire goes with the gray and black wire. When I started this install, I started on the driver's side, and the diagram confused the hell out of me. The diagram shows that shows this as the Euro model, but I have a US model, and I confirmed that with both my cars. Anyways, if you have a US spec 964, just follow these instructions because there pretty much aren't any instructions. If you have any questions for Lee at 9ELEVEN, it's best to email him. I'm sure he's really busy, and I tried calling him, leaving him voicemails, messages on IG, comments. He even liked one of my comments that I told him to check his DMs. And it took a few weeks, but he was able to finally respond by email. And he's a super nice guy, and he's been good to work with. After closing everything back up and preparing the screw hole, install the headlight. You can see how much pressure that I'm pushing downwards on the headlight. And on the driver's side, I used the provided screw just to show you. but later I changed it for the OEM screw. For my first test, the lights look great. They're really bright. They're way better than the OEM yellowish headlights. And these headlights are the 4300K pure white. I'm not one of those 5000 blue tint kind of guys, but the 4300 is more of the OEM look. And here you can see the low beams and high beams, the blinkers, and the halo daytime running lights. But anyways, I hope this helps you future installers. Following these directions, you'll be able to install both headlights within an hour. So thanks for watching again. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to watch our RWB builds continue.